They say the desert buries truth in silence, that under the scorching sun and dust-choked winds of East Africa, an ancient kingdom once thrived so powerful, so mysterious, that its legacy still echoes in stone and myth. But for centuries, it has been overshadowed, not by time alone, but by the selective memory of history. This is not the story of a forgotten tribe. This is the tale of an empire that rivaled Rome, traded with India, warred with Arabia, and carved its secrets into the highlands of Ethiopia. And yet, few know its name. In the rugged hills above the Great Rift Valley, where shadows stretch across broken obelisks and the wind whistles through hollow tombs, lies the forgotten capital of a vanished civilization, Aksum. But before Aksum, before written records, before kings etched their glory in Gaea's script, there was something older, deeper, stranger. What came before the kingdom that named itself in stone? And why did it vanish? Let us begin not with a king but with a whisper. According to the Ethiopian Keber Nagast, the queen of Sheba Makeda journeyed north with a caravan of gold, spices, and intellect. She stood before King Solomon in Jerusalem, challenging him in wisdom and spirit. From their union, so the legend claims, was born Menelik I, Emperor of Ethiopia, child of divine blood, destined to carry the Ark of the Covenant to the highlands of Africa. But was Sheba Ethiopian? Was Menelik real? Or is this a tale spun by medieval monks to stitch national identity with myth? The truth is tangled because archaeology, linguistics, and folklore rarely speak the same language. And yet, in the ruins of Yeha, far north of modern Addis Ababa, ancient South Arabian inscriptions whisper of a time when Ethiopia was not merely African but a bridge between worlds. Yeha, it predates Aksum by nearly 1,000 years. Here, temples were built in the Sabaean style, with precise stone masonry and inscriptions in Musnad script, the language of ancient Yemen. Imagine that. Arabian traders crossing the Red Sea in reed boats, carrying incense and obsidian, arriving on the Ethiopian shore to find a people who already worshipped the sun and honored their dead with towering stone slabs. Who were these Proto-Ethiopians? Some call them the dumped civilization. Others insist dumped never truly existed, and that Yeha was just a South Arabian colony. But then, who buried their kings in rock-hewn tombs? Who raised stone pillars 40 feet tall in lands untouched by Arab governance? Whatever Dempt was, it vanished, just as mysteriously as it appeared, and in its place rose Aksum. Ah, Aksum, a kingdom that minted coins when most of Europe had forgotten how. A kingdom whose inscriptions proudly declared dominion from the Nile to the southern tip of Arabia. This was no tribal village. This was an empire. By the 1st century AD, Aksum was already known to the Greco-Roman world. The Roman writer Pliny the Elder referred to a great trading power in East Africa. In the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, an ancient Greek maritime guide, Aksum is described as a bustling port of ivory, gold, and slaves. Its merchants traded with Egypt, India, Byzantium, and even China. Think of that. While Northern Europe was warring with iron swords in misty forests, Ethiopian merchants were sipping spiced wine from India, wrapped in silk from the east. Their coins stamped with the faces of kings and crosses were accepted in the markets of Alexandria and Antioch. But the kingdom's true power lay not just in trade, but in the fusion of cultures. The Aksumite kings adopted Christianity in the 4th century before most of Europe. In fact, Ethiopia was one of the first nations to declare Christianity as a state religion, after Armenia and before the Roman Empire made it official. The story of how this happened is stranger than fiction. It begins with a Syrian boy named Frumentius, shipwrecked on the Red Sea coast, captured and taken to the Aksumite court. Instead of dying a slave, he rose to become tutor to the young king. Later, he traveled to Alexandria and returned as Ethiopia's first bishop. Some say it was divine fate, others, a clever act of diplomacy. Either way, the cross spread across the land, inscribed on coins, carved into stelae, painted in cathedrals. And yet, unlike the rigid dogmas of Rome, Ethiopian Christianity absorbed the local. It danced with ancient spirits, spoke in Ge'ez, and honored saints whose names are lost to the rest of Christendom. But while Axum thrived inland, its grip on the coast began to slip. The rise of Islam in the 7th century changed everything. Arab traders once bound to Aksum for access to Africa now had Mecca and Medina as their axis. The Red Sea became hostile. Ports once buzzing with commerce were raided, blockaded, or abandoned, and Aksum began to fade. Its power shifted from the coast to the highlands. Its kings retreated into mystery. Its stelithos, massive stone obelisks, were toppled, their meanings forgotten. By the 10th century, Arab chroniclers referred to the once great kingdom in the past tense. The empire that once rivaled Byzantium had become a ghost. But Ethiopia did not die. It transformed. In the centuries that followed, legends began to fill the void left by history. One tale tells of a pagan Queen Guditu, ravaged Aksum in a storm of fire, toppling churches, burning scriptures, and slaughtering kings. Was she real? No one knows. But her story lingers in the stones, in the tales of elders, in the quiet reverence of the Aksumite ruins. Another legend tells of the Ark of the Covenant, still hidden within the Church of St. Mary of Zion in Aksum. No one may see it. No one may enter its chamber except a single chosen monk who never leaves. Skeptics scoff, but the monks, they do not flinch. They guard it with their lives. And perhaps that's the final truth of ancient Ethiopia, not what we know, but what we feel. Because Ethiopia is not just a place. It is a palimpsest, a layered story of gods and men, trade and conquest, belief and rebellion. Its ancient scripts speak of kings who called themselves Negus Nagist, King of Kings. Its mountains still hid monasteries carved into sheer cliffs. Its people still sing hymns in a language dead to the world but alive in the heart. And Aksum? It sleeps beneath the earth, beneath our notice, but not forever. In recent decades, archaeologists have begun to uncover clues-buried palaces, sunken tombs, untranslatable inscriptions. In 1999, a team uncovered the ruins of an Aksumite palace under layers of Christian churches. In 2021, an excavation revealed a new necropolis, an entire city of the dead, unknown to history. Every stone tells a story, every artifact cracks open the silence. And yet, with every discovery, the mystery deepens. Why did the Aksumites build such enormous stelasum, weighing over 500 tons only, to leave them unmarked? How did they move such stones without cranes or iron tools? Why did they abandon their cities? Where did their lineage go? Perhaps the greatest treasure of ancient Ethiopia is not gold or ivory, but its enduring enigma. Because here's the truth. Most of world history was written by empires with a pen in one hand and a sword in the other. Ethiopia defied that pattern. It stood apart. It existed proudly, quietly while the world turned. And when it vanished from textbooks, it did not vanish from time. In the churches of Lalibela, carved from living rock, the old hymns still echo. In the script of Giez, the sacred texts still speak. In the memory of the highlands, the kings of Aksum still ride. So if you walk the hills of northern Ethiopia, and the wind seems to murmur in forgotten tongues, listen, the kingdom is not lost. It is waiting.